All right, guys, whether it is the morning, afternoon, or evening, thank you so much for being here. I am Peter Ohanian, Mr. Live, and we are very excited to have with us tonight two awesome gentlemen. One who is the co founder of this project, and the other who is the person who is in charge of sales and marketing. So we have Mark Ross and Brian Lyles here with us to talk to us about this tremendous project that is going to be launching on on Solana,
Solana. Yep.
called Sosana.
hmm
How you guys doing?
Good, good. How are you, Peter?
Doing
I'm
excellent.
doing well, thank God. My phone stand doesn't want to stay, but other than that, everything is great. So I'm gonna jump off video because it keeps moving. Hey, right? Yeah, everything's good. We are very excited about this launch. We have put this call together for everybody because we wanted to basically talk to the practicality standpoint of really why Sosana stands out. So, um, you know, just a little bit about edification between, me and Mark. I mean, I've known Mark for an extended period of time, and he had told me about this project a while ago, and I thought it was a fantastic idea, and it was very different than anything else that was really out there. And, at that point in time, we only had a handful of people that were really involved in the project. And then word started spreading like crazy. And here we are now, where we have basically thousands of people that are looking at Sasana for the very first time and getting more and more excited each day. And we have Brian, who's here with us as well, who I'm starting to get to know, and I can tell that his integrity and charisma is always apparent in every single one of our meetings. So I wanted him to be here with us to really light a fire between everything that's going on in the Sasana ecosystem. So, gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Yeah, I
My,
love being here. So do you want me to just kind of get started on what Sosana is?
Yeah, go for it, Mark.
Okay. Again, my name is Mark Ross. Peter introduced me, and I'm not going to take a lot of time in going into the details of who I am, what I'm all about, except for the fact that I've pretty much been heavily involved in crypto since about 2017. And the industry, if you've been involved with it, has changed dramatically. And I think the biggest, most dramatic change, believe it or not, I think is because of the Solana ecosystem. As you know, Solana, you may not know, is the number six blockchain in all of crypto. It kind of fluctuates from five and six between them and Binance, real close. I think they're going to pass up Binance really soon and leave them in the dust, in my opinion, based on what they're doing. But what's great about Solana is it's fast, it's scalable, it's extremely low transaction cost, it's really user friendly to build projects on the blockchain. And so that's been a great thing, and that's why Solana has just exploded. And if you've never heard of Pump Fund, I'm going to remind you what that is, or tell you what that is. So for some of you, it will be a reminder, and that is that there are literally, because of that organization, thousands of projects every single day coming out. And that's just crazy. I mean, think about it. 5 years ago, you wouldn't have even thought that was possible. And here we are. And it's really changed the industry in a way that's kind of made it so one of the things like my co-founder, or no, I shouldn't say co-founder, I'm the co-founder, but the founder, David Track, actually said there's just way too much, supply and not enough demand. There's just way too many projects out there. So he calls me up one day, and he and I have worked together for 20 years. Great guy, trust him, awesome. And he just says, I got the perfect idea for a meme coin. And I thought, oh, really? Another meme coin? Okay, what do you got? He said, we're going to call it Sosana, and we're going to put it on the Solana network. And I said, what is that? What does that mean, Sosana? He said, that stands for shiny object syndrome and nothing accomplished. And I started laughing because I said, that is so true for so many people. And I can honestly say in many cases, it's even been for myself. I've been in so many, and here's the thing about meme coins, if you think about it. What is it that makes a meme coin in and of itself successful? Number one, it's very relevant. Number two, it might be humorous, it might be entertaining, it might be political, but the purpose of it typically is there isn't much utility. It just kind of builds a cult following for whatever reason. Like if you look at Dogecoin, people love dogs. They decided they liked the Dogecoin. It started out as a joke, okay? And it turned into a multi-billion dollar empire. I mean, it's just unbelievable, huge. I shouldn't even call it an empire, it's a community, right? And then you started seeing other projects launch as memes. Of course, there's always going to be people that want to copy something that's really successful. So Shiba came about, and then you have all these other ones, Brett Token and Peanut the Squirrel. And, I'll tell you my experience really quick with a meme coin I got into. It was called Peanut the Squirrel. And this was literally like about 10 months ago. I got into it and I I actually saw it on the deck screener. I saw it. It said peanut. I'm like, what is that? And I kind of looked at it for a second, then I popped off. I was like, I don't have time for that right now. Maybe I'll look at it later. I don't know, whatever. So I kind of forgot about it. But it just so happens I woke up one morning, I walked into the living room. My wife is watching the news, and here they are talking about Peanut the squirrel. I thought, wow, there's something to this. So I ran to my computer to see what the price was, and I saw that the chart had really jumped up and then dipped back down to probably about a $40 million market cap at the time. And I think it'd gone to maybe 80 million and jumped down. And I thought, wow, that's a really nice dip. I'm going to go ahead and buy some. So I plunked down about 1,200 bucks. This was right before the election. I learned that it was a political thing. You guys can look into that later. I'm not going to tell you about all about Peanut the Squirrel, but the funny thing is we had the election, and about 2 or 3 days later, my 1,200 bucks turned into over $60,000, and I was just couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, amazing. So, and by the way, I don't know if you are looking at it, Peter, but I've just been letting people in and admitting people come to the room, but I don't know if you're looking at that. I just
Yep,
wanted to make sure.
I got it.
Just keep an
Yep.
eye on that. But it just shows you that what can happen with meme coins has been why there's such a shiny object syndrome, because everybody, it's almost like the lottery now. There are so many projects coming out every single day, especially on the Solana network, that it's like the lottery. There's just way too many to choose from. You don't even have time to do your due diligence on them. And what are 99.9% of them just, what are they? They're just garbage. They're junk. They're things that don't even have dev teams. And you can go to Pump Fund right now, and for like $100, you can launch your own meme coin. It's crazy. And so that's become a serious problem. As wonderful as the Solana ecosystem and blockchain is, it's been kind of like a two-edged sword. It's made it too easy. And as I said before, it made it so that there's too much supply and not enough demand. So we knew that this meme coin would catch on. We knew that it could go viral because of its relevancy. And if you go to Sosana.io, you're going to see a really entertaining website. It's funny. And it's all about humor, because we just thought, hey, let's laugh at ourselves rather than taking ourselves so seriously. Let's just laugh at the whole idea of this shiny object syndrome. Let's make fun of it. It's funny. Then several weeks into it, David's developing the website, everything's looking really cool. And we get together, an idea comes to me, and I thought, man, we could create a community here. We could actually have a utility that could potentially solve this problem. So, as always, if you bring an idea to Dave, he helps develop it. Like, incredible. And we're not geniuses. We are far from geniuses, but we believe we came up with a genius idea. And here's basically what we're doing. We created what we consider a safe haven community where there's strength in numbers. We wanted to create a utility that could actually solve the shiny object syndrome problem. How would we do that? Because here's the thing, the most successful projects out there, whether it be just business, but especially in crypto, are ones that solve problems. And this is such an epidemic problem that we believe we can solve it. And because of that, we think we're going to go viral. Okay, so basically, here's what we did. This community that we created, we actually created a utility within it to help us find and locate quality projects. Now, why did you get into crypto? If you think about it, I'm going to tell you why if you don't know why. You got into crypto because, number one, you wanted to find really quality projects, and you wanted to find them as soon as you possibly can, right? Because you know that the sooner you get into those quality projects, the more chance you have to making money. That's the reason we got into crypto. Now, there's all kinds of other reasons, but in my opinion, that's the number one reason. Here's how we've solved this problem. We've created what we call an election process. So in order to nominate, if you're in the community, you can actually nominate your favorite project on the Solana ecosystem. Because the truth is, even though 99.99% of these, projects are just garbage, the truth is there's some really good ones. And these really good ones, unfortunately, aren't even getting noticed because they're drowned out by all this garbage. So what we wanted to do was really uplift these quality projects where we know the more people that come into our community, the more ideas we're going to get. And those people that are holding at least $500 worth of Sosana can actually nominate their favorite project. And if you're holding $50 in Sosana, you can also connect to our DApp, our decentralized app, go in and you can vote for your favorite nomination of all these nominations. Now, initially we decided we're going to actually have just 20, we're going to limit it to 25 nominations maximum in the beginning because we don't want people to get diluted. But our goal, again, is to bring about these nominated projects from the community, okay, and forge these nominations through a qualifying process through an election to help us find the most quality project. Now, I could stop right there and we're already doing something that nobody else in crypto's ever done. We are helping people actually from a community effort in a really decentralized way find quality projects in a way that's never been done and we're really excited about. And I think that alone with this meme concept, Sosana, shiny object syndrome, and bringing people in to solve that problem, I think that alone could make us go viral. But let me tell you where the magic happens. We created what's called a 3% transaction tax on every single transaction, whether it's a buy, a sell, or a transfer. So if that Sosana token moves and buys, sells, and transfers, the person's going to pay a 3% tax. Now, I'm like you, I don't like taxes. Nobody likes taxes, okay? But I promise you, when I explain this to you, you're going to love the Sosana tax. And here's what it basically consists of. We came out with a 3% tax. It was extremely important because if you look at most of the projects on the Solana, network, you'll see that they all tout the idea of no buy and no sell taxes. They think that's the greatest thing in the world. Let me tell you why it's become a problem for them. Two reasons. For us is that there's trading bots out there, and these trading bots, they'll go onto these decentralized exchanges, and if you look at the order flow, maybe you're sitting on Dex Screener or you're sitting on Dex Tools. These are, if you don't know this already, applications that allow you to see the chart on all these Solana projects. Okay, you can see all the ups and downs with his candles and everything. So you go in there and you see the order flow. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, but have you ever noticed that there's a big order in this order flow that's like $10,000? And then you think it immediately gives you this emotional lift of like, wow, somebody just bought $10,000. That's cool. But 15 seconds later, that same wallet sells all their tokens for $10,050, just for example. And you wonder, they just made a $50 profit. Okay, that's crazy. But what happens is because of that phenomenon, they're able to manipulate the price by pushing up the buy pressure and then slamming it back down for a measly $50 profit with, like, say, $10,000. And what that does is it actually leaches from the liquidity pool and actually hurts the whole community. So if you think about it, if you think it's great not to have a buy or sell tax, the truth is you're paying taxes anyway, just by design. You're going to pay taxes because there's always going to be, bots and scammers and people out there that are going to game the system and try to take advantage of it. And it's going to be at your expense. So we've eliminated that problem. The second problem is a lot of these projects, unfortunately, they're just deceptive. You'll go to a chart. You'll be maybe kind of interested in a project and you'll see all this volume coming in, buy, sell, all these wallets. And you're thinking, wow, this is a really popular token. There must be something to this. But here's the deception. There's nothing to it. What they've done in many cases is they've used their own bots, these projects, and they'll be slamming in buys and sells over and over and over to deceive you and make you think that there's a whole bunch of people in the Solana network that's interested in their token when it's not, which will then gain your interest because you're going to like, wow, look how popular this is. That is a form of deception. Okay. If those projects had a 3% tax or any kind of buy sell tax, they would not want to participate in that deception. Why? Because they'd be paying that tax over and over and over. So we have solved that problem of deception. You can trust that the volume that comes into Sosana is absolutely real every time. Okay. So we solved those two problems, and that's a great thing. But let me tell you how we took that tax and we turned it around and actually rewarded our community. This is how we're going to do this. 1% of that 3% tax will go to what we call a liquidity wallet. And that liquidity wallet, its sole purpose is to build up the stabilization and price of the Sosana token. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but you can learn about it later. The other 1% is going toward toward our marketing wallet. And that marketing wallet, of course, is designed to market the Sosana project. It is earmarked specifically just for that purpose and no other purpose. It's blockchain, so it's very transparent. You guys are going to see what we're doing with those funds. And that's going to go towards marketing Sosana, which of course helps the community, because if we market Sosana, it pushes the buy price up. If you own Sosana tokens, it's to your benefit. It's in your best interest, right? But let me tell you the third thing. If you haven't heard this before, take notes, because the third reason we use this tax is something that's literally never been done in crypto history. Let me explain. That third 1% is going to go toward what we call a degen voter bonus wallet. And it's going to create the largest rewards that you've ever seen in crypto history for their community. And here's how it works. Remember, I told you that every transaction, 1% continues to go into that degen voter bonus wallet. And we have a 2-week voting process, nomination and voting process for our community. So during this 2-week time, come Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, everybody in the community is going to be able to connect their wallet. And if you're holding at least $50 worth of Sosana, you're going to be eligible to vote. You're going to be qualified to vote on those nominations. Now, what your goal is to do is to find the most quality project and cast your vote for those nominations. And at Monday, 48 hours later, at 7 p.m. Eastern, we're going to reveal the winner. So we're going to show a top 10 list. You're going to see all the votes that each one of those tokens got. And we're going to reveal who's number one. Now, this is really exciting for the whole community, because if you voted for that winning token, you're going to earn a really big reward. What we're going to do is we're going to take that degen voter bonus wallet that's been collecting that 1% all 2-week period, and we're going to use that wallet to go onto the decentralized exchange of that token that the community voted for, and we're going to buy that token. Then we're going to airdrop that token to every single person that voted for that token. Again, what I just explained has literally never been done in crypto history. And the synergy that this is going to create, think about it, folks. The bigger this reward wallet gets from a bigger community, the faster we're going to grow. We think that this concept, because it's so rewarding, is just going to absolutely go viral. We really believe it. Okay, that's the voting reward nominating utility that we came up with, that we think will also solve the shiny object syndrome problem on the Solana ecosystem. We think that everybody in the Solana network is going to find out about Sosana because of that utility, because everybody is suffering from shiny object syndrome. How does this help? Because now you're in a safe haven where everybody has the same goal. This community is unified for one purpose, and that is to find quality projects. But at the same time, I want you to think about another synergy that's created. There's going to happen with what we call a tipping point in that wallet. Now, we don't know when it'll happen. It'll depend on the project that gets nominated and of course wins the election, and also the size of that wallet, because eventually that wallet, we believe, again, no guarantees, no income projections, not financial advice, but we believe that this wallet is going to get so big that at some point it's actually going to be able to move particular markets, where if the community votes for a really low market cap token, that particular wallet can actually make a huge difference in that particular token. And at that tipping point, some magical things will occur. And I'm going to bring one of my partners on here, Brian. I want to bring him out because Brian does an excellent job of helping you understand what's next, the synergy of that, and how this tipping point can really develop here. Brian, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you think?
Absolutely, Mark. Great job, man. As always, of kind of setting it up. I just want to say real quickly, Mr. Live, man, just awesome job. I'm so excited to actually have an opportunity to be on this webinar with you, man. I've heard about you for a really long time, and I've always said, man, I got to get a chance to meet that guy. And here we are. in this platform together. And that's just kind of how this thing works, man. Eventually, if you hang around long enough and you try to do some good things, you get into the right pools, you'll actually start meeting the right people. So I'm excited to be here for that. Also amazed how you've got this incredible international group of people. You say, I just want to get together a small group of leaders, and we got people on here from all over the world. So kudos to you. Again, kudos to Mark for kind of setting this up. And guys, here's what I want to do for you. It's really not that complicated. I like to keep things extremely simple because that's how it works for me to be able to understand it and then to be able to explain it. When the very first time somebody ever told me about crypto and they said, oh, this thing called cryptocurrency, man, you got to get in because you can make a lot of money. My first question was, what is cryptocurrency? They did a really bad job of explaining it, but I said, okay, but anyway, I got a basic idea. How do you make money in it? And we said, well, man, you buy it and then the price goes up and then you sell it at a higher price than you bought it. So that's how you make money, like buying a stock and then letting the price go up. And then I said, okay, great. So what determines if the price is going to go up or not? And they could not answer that question. They just couldn't answer that question. I eventually started figuring it out of what actually does determine if the price goes up or not. The market is very fond of this term buy pressure. But in essence, when you have more buyers than sellers, the market actually continues to adjust the price upwards to try to create equilibrium. That's really what it comes down to. So once I understood that, I started to understand all the other aspects of it. When people started using words like utility, right? When they said, hey, this token has this great utility, all they were basically saying was the token does something that is so cool and so consequential that people are going to want to own the token. And therefore, they're going to want to buy it. And a lot of people are going to want to hold it because the people who are holding it are either going to want to support the utility or because they believe the price is going to continue to go up. So they're going to hold it long term because why sell it today for a 10% profit or a 50% profit when you could sell it a year from now for a 700 or 800% profit? So once I kind of got that, I said, okay, now I've got the very basics of crypto. So when I'm looking at different projects, I'm just trying to figure out, is there something about that that is relevant enough, that is cool enough, that is going to make a whole lot of people want to buy it? And on the other hand, is there something about it that is going to make a whole lot of people want to hold it? Therefore, you've got more buyers than sellers, and the market will keep continuously adjusting the price in an upward fashion to try to create equilibrium, get to a point where the sellers are enticed enough that maybe start selling, and then you get some equilibrium. And therefore, we've got a project that we want to be a part of. So if you think about what Mark just said, he goes over it so well, but he goes over it so smooth that I think you could almost miss some of the nuances in there that are critically important to what Sosana is offering. Ultimately, what we're talking about is this degen voter system. And you remember what he said. He said, listen, we're going to take 3% of every single transaction, and we're going to separate into these different wallets. But one of those wallets, so 1% is going to actually go into, of every transaction, is going to go into this degen voter pool. Now, when you start thinking about every transaction, if you want to get an idea or a concept of what that could get to, go to CoinMarketCap, look at the top 30, 40, 50 the tokens that are on there, and just go look at what their transactional volume is every 24 hours, and it will blow you away. You're going to notice that even if you go all the way down to token number 50, you're still talking about hundreds of millions of dollars a day. So you can start to get the concept and the idea that once a token gets real growth, once people really start hearing about it and they want to get involved in it, you've got a lot of buying and selling happening every day. And for our purposes, it really wouldn't matter because whether to buy, a sell, or transfer, whatever, it's still going to generate this 1% into the degen voter pool. So at the end of that 2 weeks, on a Monday at 7 p.m. Now, if you guys can start to really understand a time frame here, you're going to get the magic here. On a Monday at 7 p.m., the votes are all in, and the DAO will then release who the winner was. Okay, there were 25 projects that you could have voted upon. A bunch of people voted, and project number 4, which is token XYZ, that is the winner. And there were 100 people that voted for token XYZ. So we've got 100 winners. Now think about that for a moment, because we're going to do some simple math here. So now the other thing that Dow is going to tell you is that 1% of all of our transactional volume over the past 2 weeks, $100,000. And I'm just giving even numbers to keep it as even math. So it was $100,000. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to buy $100,000 worth of XYZ tokens, and then we're going to airdrop them evenly into the wallets of the 100 winners. That would mean that every single one of those winners in this theoretical example would get $1,000 each of XYZ tokens. But here's where the magic happens, guys. We're going to make that purchase at 8 o'clock. So think about what just happened. You now know at 7 o'clock that 1 hour later at 8 o'clock, a large purchase is going to happen of a token that in all likelihood is a small market cap token. And you know about it 1 hour in advance. So if you are a person who was one of the 100 who actually won, and you know you're getting $1,000 worth of that token, congratulations to you. That is awesome. But they're not just going to announce this at 7 o'clock to the people who won the voters. They're going to announce it to every single person who was involved in the voting process. So let's say that you're me and you didn't win. And by the way, we're not voting. You know, when I say me, I'm just using an example. If I was any other person involved with Sosana, but let's say you're another person and you did not win. You still did not lose, because now you've got information that the rest of the world doesn't have yet, which is that 1 hour from now, there's going to be $100,000 purchase of a small cap token. Now, if you understand anything about what drives up the price of tokens, it's more buyers than sellers. It's more volume of buying than selling. It's all these different aspects. So if you've got $100,000 pouring into a small cap token, there is a very high likelihood that that token price is going to go up. Remember, how do you make money in crypto? You buy at one price and then you hold it long enough to be able to sell at a higher price. It's really that simple. It's just basic math. Well, guys, you've now got information that no one else has. And now you can go, and if you want to, you can position yourself in front of that big purchase by buying that token before this big purchase. Now, think about this logically. You got 10,000 people, let's say, in Sosana, and those 10,000 people all know about this purchase that's about to happen, and they then decide to go start buying that token. As they're buying that token more and more and more, that in all likelihood is pushing up the price more and more and more. And then as the price is going up and it gets to a point where it really starts going up, it starts becoming a trending token, which means it starts getting pasted across these different exchanges all over the world. People are sitting there, never heard of Sosana, never heard of token XYZ, but now they're seeing on their trending category that there's some token called XYZ token that has gone up by 25% in the past 10 minutes. And now it has their attention and it keeps going up. And they say, you know what? I don't know anything about XYZ token, but something is happening over there. Maybe I should go buy some, which as those people start pouring in, starts driving the price up, potentially even more. Now, an hour later, there's $100,000 purchase of XYZ token, and then the price really starts going up a lot, and more people want to jump in on it, and they want to start driving it up even further, but you were in first. You got it at an early price before everybody else started jumping on it, before that big $100,000 purchase happened, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That is where you now have a real asset in your portfolio that other people didn't know about. You can sell it, you can keep it as if the price, and see if the price wants to continue to go up. Remember, it was identified by our community, by this collective intelligence as a solid project. You can make all those decisions that make the most sense to you and your family financially. But again, every 2 weeks, I want you to think about something. In business, the rarest commodity in business is certainty, because nobody really has a crystal ball to know what's going to happen in the future. But every 2 weeks, you are getting a crystal ball. Every 2 weeks, you're getting into a situation that at the end of the day, you have the opportunity to have some certainty because you know there's a certain purchase that is going to happen. Again, we're not allowed to make guarantees about how that purchase will directly affect something or not, but you can use your own level of discernment to figure it out. Now, this is where it gets better because ultimately, as more and more people start hearing about Sosana, and more people start understanding what's happening there. They start understanding this degen voting system. More and more people are going to want to be a part of the Sosana community because they're going to want to participate. They're going to want to be able to find out at 7 o'clock every 2 weeks what's going to be happening at 8 o'clock an hour later every 2 weeks. So more and more people are going to want to buy Sosana tokens to get into Sosana. But on the other hand, you have a bunch of people already in Sosana who know that they can't participate in the voting mechanism unless they're holding a certain amount of Sosana tokens. In this case, to vote, you need to hold $50 worth of Sosana. If you want to nominate a project, you need to hold $500 worth. So on one side, you got people who want to buy and get in. On the other side, you have people who are incentivized to hold. What is that? Buy pressure. And buy pressure, when you have people holding on the other side, means the market starts pushing up a price to create equilibrium until people get to a point of saying, hey, that's a great price being offered. I might want to now sell some of my Sosana. As that continues to happen, you now have Sosana tokens, which could potentially, we have to use words like potentially, be a great profit returning asset for you, number one. You have every 2 weeks where you're able to take advantage of the degen voter system, but you also have something else happening. The more people coming in and buying, the more people starting to sell, the bigger the degen voter pool is getting. So now where it might be $100,000 at one point, it could be $1 million at another point. $5 million at another point as we project into the future. And when you start thinking about what $100,000 purchase can do to the price of a token, think about what $1 million purchase can do, a $5 million purchase can do, a $10 million purchase can do, and think about what a community of not just 1,000 people or 10,000 people, but a community of 100,000 people knowing about this in advance, or 200,000 people knowing about this in advance, and all going and buying into a token in advance. Guys, when you start thinking about those numbers, that's what Mark is talking about when he mentions the tipping point, that he's going to put you in a position to be able to win. Only thing we're looking for is driving people's ability to identify the gold mines from the landmines, if you will, to be able to get into the right projects at the right time, and to be able to profit from that ability. And that's what we're going to achieve with this degen voter system. And the more people who know about it, the more they're going to actually want to be a part of this company and the more this project, and the more they're going to want to stay a part of it, which means you're going to have a long-term stable asset with a lot of buy pressure pushed into it and something that could build your portfolio all the way to the top. Now, see, Mark, you're actually showing some of the charts, and I'm sure you want to talk about to give some people some examples of this 24-hour volume. I'm going to turn it back to you. You can do that, man. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, I just want to show you guys, if you think that degen voter bonus wallet can't get really, really big, I just want to kind of just go into some of the successful projects out there, that some of which aren't even like that big of like market caps. I mean, here's one called Vinecoin. I don't know anything about this, but it's a meme coin. It's a market cap of just around 70 million. They literally they did 71 million in just transactions in the last 24 hours. Like this column right here, these are all the transactions. I actually didn't mean to click on that. These are all the transactions that occur. So I want you guys, whenever you get a chance, go to CoinMarketCap and go and look at the 24-hour volume that you'll see that's actually coming in not every 24 hours, but for that particular 24 hours. And one of them that I really thought was an interesting one is this one called Memecoin, because they're doing somewhere between 25 and $35 million a day, I've been noticing. That is literally $250,000 to $350,000 a day going into the degen voter bonus wallet if we do that kind of volume. Now, for us to get to what I believe is a very simple market cap. I mean, this is under $100 million market cap. Okay. This just kind of gives you an idea what the rewards can become. But if you look at a really good project called Pepe, Pepe's just, as far as I know, there's no utility. They just have this little character, and it got really popular, cult following, all these little, a lot of these tokens can do this, but we're talking about a $4.6 billion market cap, and they're doing over $600 million per day, if you can imagine. What do you think's going to happen when the community, if for some reason, what if Pepe was taking 1% of that and putting it into a DGen voter bonus reward pool and rewarding their communities for picking the project, but more importantly, buying that project with that kind of money? Folks, that gets kind of scary in my book. I mean, it's so amazing. It's literally, to me, it's almost scary. So just wanted to share that real quick. And I think, Brian, if you want to go into the affiliate, just kind of touch on that real quick, you can get into that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And again, though, I mean, you show those numbers, and Mark, I love the way that you say this stuff, like, so, like, yeah, man, it's just, $600 million in a day, like that's nothing. And understanding, I think most people who aren't maybe heavily involved in cryptocurrency, they have no idea the amount of money that's moving back and forth every single day. Remember, these exchanges are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's just nonstop transactions happening. Again, that's one token, $600 million a day, and it's nowhere near the largest volume token that's out there. And people are just moving in and moving out money and transferring all day, every day. And if we've got that going on with our token, and we're taking that 3% tax, and 1% is going towards a DGen voter pool, like Mark just said, you can start to imagine. And guys, here's the big thing about that is the bigger the stories get, the bigger the story will continue to get, right? Because the more people hear about it, the more people who are going to want to ape into it, the story just gets even that much bigger, which attracts more people. And we become a market maker, where we're the project that everybody wants to be a part of. And the people who are actually hearing about this first and hearing about it now doesn't mean that people can't get, do extremely well and get and potentially get wealthy later. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying the people who hear about it first and hear about it now will be getting this potentially at the best price that it may ever be offered for, right? So that's why we're excited about that. Now, the other thing we decided to do, and I saw some questions there, was we went out and we added an affiliate program. We said, listen, let's put together an affiliate program so that we can give people yet another incentive to go out and spread the word, but also give them a mechanism by which they can actually accumulate more Sosana tokens. So I'm going to share this with you real quick. I've done some detailed reviews of this, but I'm going to do probably the fastest review of the affiliate program that I've ever done, simply because I don't want to, I want to be respectful of everyone's time. And I just want to show you the basics of how this works, guys. So everybody's going to start off as an affiliate program. They're going to start off what we call unranked, right? And it's a 3-level affiliate. We wanted to keep it very simple. This is not a network marketing plan where it's going to go, hey, we're going to pay you through 10 or 20 levels deep. Not that we're against network marketing. I mean, many of us, that's our background. That's where we're able to probably make our first 6 and 7 figure hits at. But at the end of the day, we also understand from a legal standpoint, by being an affiliate plan and not a network marketing plan, you're not opened up to the same level of scrutiny. And we wanted to make sure that there'd be nothing that could damage this project ever going forward. So with the affiliate plan, you start off unranked. You got a 3-level payout, 20%, 15%, 15% on the 3rd level. And then as it continues to grow, now, what is that 20% of, or 15% of, or 15% of? It's 20% of the affiliate memberships that these people are paying to get started and plug into our community, take advantage of all the different educational classes that we have, get the badges, do all the, attend AMAs, all the different things they're going to get as an affiliate. Now, I'm going to cover some of the pricing here in a second, but again, 20%, 15, and 15 is where you start. Once you go out and you simply refer 3 people, this is completely optional, by the way. You don't have to refer anyone. You don't even have to come in as an affiliate if you don't want to, but it's going to be a lot of benefits attached to it. But if you are an affiliate and you refer 3 other affiliates, you'll actually hit what we call the degen rank. At that point, we're going to add 5% as an additional bonus now to what you're going to acquire in Sosana tokens. That's the cool part here. All of this is going to be paid to you right away, instantly into your wallet in Sosana tokens. And we'll add another 10% on the third level, because if you're going to go out and start referring people, then you can start thinking about geometric growth. As you get down to your third level, you're going to start to have a lot more people there than you even have on your first level. So we want to give you the opportunity to really earn big, where you're going to have the biggest amount of people at. Now, once you go out from there and you expand, now you become more of a leader. You don't just refer 3 people, you refer 10 or more, and you end up with a total amount of referrals in your entire Sosana team of 100 or more. Now, you can only count 30 from any given group. That just means we don't have one guy recruiting one guy, recruiting one guy, recruiting one guy, and then the guy at the bottom does all the work and everybody else gets promoted off of that one guy's efforts, right? You can only have 30 that we're going to count for qualification purposes in any group. But once you have that set up, we are going to promote you to this position of hodler. Okay, now, just so you know, for those of you who want to know from a detail, we calculate all of your qualifications through infinite levels. So you don't have to have the 100 people compressed within your first 3 levels. Even though you're only paid through 3 levels, we're going to look throughout all infinite levels to determine if you're qualified or not. At that point, as a hodler, we're going to add even more to your third level. So you're going to get a much bigger chunk, again, off of the place where you're very likely to have the most amount of people. And then finally, when you actually get to a point where you not only become a leader, but you've duplicated leadership and proven the ability to do that. And we're saying that the determinant factor of that is that you've got at least one hodler in 3 separate organizations. Once that happens, again, calculate it through infinity. They can be anywhere within your organizations, but once you have those, at least one hodler in 3 separate organizations, we're going to promote you up to whale. At that point, we bump you up on the second level. We also bump you up on the third level. You'll notice here that you're going to be making more on your third level than you're making on your first level, but you're probably going to have 5, 10, or 15 times as many people on the third level than you do on your first level. So this is going to be really incredible as a way to really reward the leaders. And then we're going to also, this just shows you what we just went through, but we're going to also add in bonus pools. That's going to be pretty exciting for the hodlers and the whales. So now you don't have to worry about just what's happening in your team. You got all the incentive to go help everyone, because as you're helping everyone, you know that you're going to be participating in a bonus pool where you're getting an override essentially, or a share in an override pool that is happening off of every single person's organization in all of Sosana. So this is going to be a real way for us to really, truly reward our leaders. Now, you might be saying to yourself, why should I get excited about all the leaders if I'm not the type of person that's going to build? It's because the ultimate effect of having all of these people that are out spreading the word about Sosana and finding more and more people who want to actually become a part of the Sosana community and going to go buy Sosana tokens to become a part of the community is that it's creating more buy pressure, which we believe can set us up to drive up the price. And whether or not you are doing this or not, if just Mr. Live is doing it, if some of the other big leaders are doing it, guess what the net effect is? When the price goes up, it goes up for everyone, not just for them. It also goes up for you. So your Sosana holdings now, if the price goes up, become more valuable because of what these guys are out there doing as well. So that's why you should get excited about this, even if you're saying, I don't know if I'm going to really build, et cetera, et cetera. The final thing I want to say, and I'm going to just I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna stop this here and stop sharing for a second, because the final thing I want to say is this: we are set up in a position right now where we're offering this founders program, and the founders program allows you to become an affiliate. And there's gonna be 2 types of affiliates: basic and premium. But the founders program is going to give you the premium affiliate benefits for life. It's a one-time $99 worth of Sosana will get you in as a founder. Okay, one time. That's it. And for life, you're going to have the premium affiliate benefits. Everyone else who joins after the founders program, they're going to have to pay either $149 to be a basic affiliate or $249 to become a premium affiliate. And then they're going to have an annual renewal fee. So every single year to maintain their affiliate status, they're going to have to pay again and again and again every single year. They're going to do it, and they're going to do it gladly because of all of the value that's going to be there. But there is nothing better than being able to be benefited by being here first and taking an action that you can pay $99 and pay it one time and never have to pay again, but get all of those benefits for life. In addition, as we add new things, we're going to put even more value into that idea of being a founder. So founders will continue to be rewarded for making that decision early on. So that's going to be really incredible for them. But again, one of the biggest benefits of taking advantage of that moment in time is that you're getting a lifetime membership when everybody else's membership is going to be annual. So Mark, if you want to speak to that, man, I'm going to turn it back to you, sir. And we're going to go.
Absolutely. Let me tell you why everybody will want to be an affiliate member, whether even if they don't want to bring people in or recruit people or refer people, right? They just want to be a member. Same exact reason they're all going to want to be a member of Sosana as in our community, because we also, as an affiliate member, we have something we call the community hub. Now, inside the affiliate membership, there's all kinds of education, information. There's even certified trainers that will be there to support you and help you learn everything you need to know when you get stuck. Because there's a lot of people in the industry like that. We want to bring on the masses. We want people's first experience in crypto to be really good when they come into Sosana. We want to show them a place to get tokens, but we also want to show them a lot of education on how to find those tokens, how to find those projects, okay, and not get scammed, right? But the other thing is this is a really neat utility inside the affiliate plan. And Brian, you were talking about this real quick. This was, I think it was another Brian, is that what we're doing here is we're making it so, remember, I told you 1% of that liquidity, or excuse me, 1% of those transactions goes into a marketing wallet. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to literally, David came up with this. We're going to cut that marketing wallet in half so that half of that marketing wallet is going to go towards a whole new voting process inside the community hub as an affiliate member, where you can only get access to it as an affiliate member. And this is why everybody's going to want to do it, because if you love voting for live token projects on the Solana ecosystem, how do you feel about voting for pre-launch projects? You're going to get a chance as a part of, as a member of our community in this community hub, as an affiliate member, to get access to all the different nominated pre-sale projects. These are pre-launches. These are tokens that aren't even out yet. Okay, what do you think is usually the best time to find out about a project? Before it even starts, right? Like right now, Sosana, you guys happen to be here finding out about us before we actually launch. So we're going to give everybody access to that. It's going to be once a month, not once every 2 weeks, but once a month, there's going to be a voting process where half of that wallet goes to the reward. And what happens is same type of election process. The token owners, though, will be nominating their own projects, and every token owner that comes in with those pre-launch projects have to go through a strict KYC process. Why? Because we want to make sure that those new projects coming in to our community hub are safe. They're like exponentially more likely to be quality projects because they're people who will identify themselves, and which makes them, again, exponentially more trustworthy, right? If you get to know the people behind the project, you start to gain a lot more trust. Because, I mean, think about it. How many projects are out there every single day? Thousands every day, where you don't even know who the devs are. You have no idea who they even are, right? You bring those projects into our community, they get KYC'd. Now, as an affiliate member, you'll be in the community hub, you'll be able to vote once a month, and the reward will actually come in Solana, not the actual token, because it's not out yet, right? But you're going to be able to take that Solana from voting for the winning token that's been nominated and won through the same type of election process, and you're going to be able to use that Solana to buy that pre-launch project token and hopefully have a lot of success that way. And I think there's going to be some tremendous success stories when people get a chance to be a part of these pre-launch projects. And that's a really exciting addition to what we're doing. And folks, we know that with what we're offering, We could explode virally without an affiliate program at all. But with an affiliate program, we believe it's going to pour gas on the fire. We think that we have a chance to just explode because of that. Right now, you can pre-enroll as a free member. When we go live, you're going to have to purchase Sosana tokens first. Use those Sosana tokens to buy your affiliate membership, which is what is commissionable, just as Brian explained. We think this is another synergistic effect that is going to push buy pressure into the Sosana token. So when we come out in a fair launch, we're only going to come out with somewhere around $10,000 or so into the liquidity pool. It's going to have about 9.8 million tokens introduced and paired with that liquidity in that pool. It's going to give us a tremendous chance to get a very, very low price. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what your price is going to be, because when you come out there, it's going to be up to you. Remember, it's a fair launch, which means everybody in the community is going to get a fair shot at buying that token as soon as we launch. We're going to let you guys know 24 to 48 hours ahead of time before we launch our project. And your timing is absolutely incredible. It doesn't get any better. So if you guys love the vision of what we shared, we highly recommend that you go to the pre-enrollment link of the affiliate program right now, where you join for free, get positioned, and start bringing people to these types of presentations and get them involved. I'm going to hand it back to you, Peter. We really appreciate you bringing us on, and you just tell us where to go from here.
Yeah, really excited. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate Mark, all your detail, and Brian, all your detail with everything that you guys have said. Tremendous amount of value that we have here with this project. And, all I can basically say is one thing you guys have to take a look at is the supply. And the supply being 88,888,888 tokens. Like, that's it. Market did state that only a small percentage of that will be in circulation. So essentially, what people will be seeing is a fraction of what that supply will be in terms of the maximum supply.
Yeah, it's a 5-year
That,
plan, 5-year release
right,
plan. So we actually start with
correct,
about 49%, and then we release the rest over 5 years. But go ahead.
right. So the reason why I say that is because if you compare that to a lot of the different meme coins that are out there, and even some regular token projects that are out there, a lot of them are not under the 100 million maximum supply. They're probably upwards of a billion. And in fact, if you look at the majority of the Solana projects that have had tremendous success, their maximum supply is a billion tokens. They're not into that lower range. Whereas now you're driving a tremendous amount of traffic into a project that's brand new, which is going to have a tremendous amount of eyes to the table. And you're going to start to see a lot more people flow to a project that has more utility and use case in a meme coin than any other project that has ever been created. And so that is going to be a very, very big deal. I really want you guys to get that, because that's an extremely important point to realize. So, with that being said, I'll say we'll open the floor up for just 2 or 3 minutes. If somebody has any questions, wants to unmute, whatever the case may be, we can do that. Just raise your hand, and we can unmute you. If not, we can end the session.
Okay, I see one question here in the chat. Just let's see here. Most of them have been answered though. Okay, correction. I'm asking, please let us have more than 48 hours. What about 2 weeks? Yeah, well, probably not 2 weeks, but we'll let you know as soon as we know. I'll put it to you that way. Almost as soon as we know. We'll get it out there, and we'll make sure that you guys are going to have plenty of time to get involved with the launch. You'll know. I'm not seeing any other questions here, Peter. So let's see here. Oh, here we go. No, we don't know when the launch will happen. Here's the thing, and that's something that gets asked a lot, and we don't blame you. I want to know too. I'm always like, when are we going to launch? We can't tell you an exact date yet. We got to get through some of the developing processes. We've got to get through the stress testing of the actual smart contract. We got to get through the audit. There's some things we got to get through before we can just come out and say, this is when we think we'll launch. We don't want to have these rolling deadlines. And already a couple of times we kind of started to try to give an estimate. And it's just really impossible to do because it's really up to the programmers and it's a difficult task, especially when you're doing something that's never been done in crypto before. So all I can tell you is there's two silver linings. One, good things come to those who wait. And while you're waiting, because this is going to be worth the wait, folks, I really believe that. But while you're waiting, take this time. This gives you time to tell people about Sosana and build up those, let people join you for free through the pre-enrollment links in this affiliate plan. Get those people positioned because, if you have a little time to get some people positioned, you're going to be a lot better off on launch day, right? It's going to be a lot. Yeah, that's what, thanks, Helga. Is it Helg? Or I don't know how to pronounce that name. I apologize if I mispronounced, but yeah, I'm not against waiting. Gives me more time to promote. That's exactly what I'm saying. So that's a good thing.